Robert was born in 1972, January the 19th, in Oceanside, California. His grandparents, the Ehlbecks, lived in La Center, Washington, just north of Vancouver. So we decided that's where he should be baptized because he was the first grandson of Ellen and Everett Ehlbeck. Now, when we arrived there in October, we found Amanda Abrahamson at the house, the 93-year-old great-grandmother of Robert, who had immigrated from Finland when she was a young girl. And they had given, she and Ellen, Robert, his first bath in the home beside the wood stove. So there you see Grandma Ehlbeck, Ellen Ehlbeck, holding Robert on the couch in the living room. Now she's going to hand him over to Robert's great-grandmother, Amanda Abrahamson. Now the video isn't very good, but there she is, holding her great-great-grandson, Robert Francis. Her son was Francis C. Abrahamson, who was born in 1914. He enlisted in the Army in 1942 at the age of 28. He was engaged at that time to be married, but there was a war on, and he didn't make it home. He was killed in the war. But his fiancée came to Robert's baptism to celebrate his namesake. You'll see her later on in the still photos. She has red hair and a rust-colored dress. She was a wonderful lady to come and enjoy. So now you see Grandpa Ehlbeck with Robert crawling all over him. Video is not his cup of tea, obviously. And pretty soon you'll see Grandma Ehlbeck picking up Blondie, his dog, to see what will happen when she puts both of them on his lap. And Blondie doesn't really like the idea at all. Robert's trying to figure out, where do I go or what do I do next? There's Blondie. Yeah, let's get him close. See if they can play together. I don't think so. I think Blondie's gonna jump off. She's had enough of that new baby. Oh no, come on, Grandpa. She doesn't want any part of that. The Ehlbecks were hardworking farmers. At one time, they even manufactured bricks. And the cold room that they built was built with some of the bricks that they manufactured, and it had their name on the bricks. They had a prune orchard, and they raised strawberries and raspberries and had people come and help them pick. They raised potatoes and corn, and they even raised some sorghum at one time and processed it. Had their picture in the paper. They also harvested trees on the land and cleared the land continually. They were hard-working people, and they just got indoor plumbing and lighting just when I got married in 1962. Still had the wood stove, part electric and part wood though. It was a wonderful family. So now I'll try and give you a description of who I can remember. There's Alan Cook, that's Evelyn's husband. At the time, he was one of the godparents. There's Jim Bending Down, that's Don's brother, and he just put Robert into great-grandma Amanda Abrahamson's lap. Beside her is her daughter Ellen, the grandmother, and Everett Otto Ehlbeck, the grandfather. And to his right is Mary and Ernie. Ernie is Ellen Ehlbeck's brother, and her son was Larry. So Mary married Larry. Okay, that's the family that you see, the picture. And it was a great time that afternoon. I remember the weather was great. And of course you see that the film isn't that good. There's some of the sisters of Everett. He had 3 sisters, and they all came with their families. Ellen, Amanda's daughter, had 7 siblings, brothers and sisters. And of course, one of them is Francis C. Abrahamson, who was in the war, and he died in the war, and that's who Robert was named after, Robert Francis. And there's another one of Everett's sisters, and this is the back porch of the house. This house was originally homesteaded. It was a cabin. They kept building on to it, built the upstairs. I think there were 2 bedrooms upstairs, one for the boys, Jim and Don, and then one for Evelyn. And Everett also built his own cold house out of the bricks that they made, and that was quite something. This is a great family, hardworking family, and as you can see, we had a good time when everybody arrived after the baptism. And there is the fiance who never got married to Francis C. Abrahamson, Don's uncle, who never came home from the war. And there's another picture of the family gathering together at the party after the confirmation. And here's another shot from the back of the house where everybody was getting ready to have their still shots taken. So let me introduce you again. There's Alan and Evelyn, and that's me, minister holding Robert and Don, and to the right is Karen and Jim Ehlbeck. And here's the minister holding Robert. And now I have a later picture for you with Lisa and Robert with the Ehlbecks. There's Ellen and Everett. Such good people. He made his own prune wine, by the way, from the prune orchard. And she cooked the best roast in the world on that wood stove. I think she used the wood stove more than she used the electric side of it. That was just to keep things warm, if I remember right. Hard-working, wonderful people. It was a wonderful baptism and a great memory for Robert.